All right, we'll call the meeting to order. The Finance Committee, November 29th, 2022. Alder Galvin, Alder Brunette, Alder Hutchison, Alder Johnson are all present. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
A motion by Galvin, a second by Brunette. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Approval of minutes.
So moved. Second.
We have a motion by Hutchison, a second by Brunette. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item E, regular business. Item 1, for consideration of possible action on the purchase of HPE Aruba switches and accessories for $90,130. Looks like Director Honig is ready to go.
This is just a replacement of existing equipment. Much of it is 10 years old. It was put in place when we first installed fiber to all the auxiliary buildings throughout the city. So it's been running 24/7, 365 for 10 years plus. So we just like to replace the current equipment before it fails.
And a local vendor.
Yes.
Any questions for the Director? Seeing none, we'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve. Second.
A motion by Brunette, second by Galvin. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 2, for consideration of possible action on the purchase of one X-Safe with 3-year support from Vanguard Computers, state contract for $44,817. Director Honig.
Okay, I just want to mention there's a mistake on the agenda. Vanguard Computers was not the lowest bid. Accel Technology was, so I just want to point that out. So
That was by like $1,000 or something, right?
about 20, I think.
No,
No,
1,000?
less than 1,000.
Oh.
My interpretation was they were the second, but they also had the service, which the other one did not.
you weren't compliant with the bid request, the lowest bid.
So what this is we had to meet 3 requirements for cybersecurity. One is offsite data storage. That's what this product is. Another one is multi-factor authentication. That will be coming forward in the next couple of meetings. And then also what the heck? EDR, MDR on our servers. Managed detection and response. But what this is right now is offsite storage. It's an appliance that will be at the police department, and it is technically what it does. It will make a copy of our data, and it's a write once and read many times. So it's supposed to not become infected by malware or ransomware. So it's just a requirement from our cybersecurity insurance providers.
Okay. And this is the company you recommend
Great.
when you look at the bids
Mhm.
because of the service?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions? Not, well, entertain a motion.
Motion approved.
Can you verify again which vendor that we're going with?
Vanguard Computers.
No, you're saying it's
Excel, AXEL.
Oh wait, where?
Wait, which one? We don't have that word in
That's
it.
not even, these are the vendors, this was the bid summary.
See, it's right here. This is it right here, and you're gonna see that.
But the dollar amount is Vanguard on the summary page, it's the same
Oh yeah,
dollar
Vanguard's not
amount.
on here. So really, this ArcServe, right, is who
Yep.
we're,
It's
that's the
Excel.
recommendation?
Yep, Excel technology. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's,
So
in the documentation that was sent, it is correct, but it wasn't put correct on the.
Okay, so ArcServe is the same as Accel?
Excel is the vendor that we are purchasing it from. And ArcServe or OneSafe is the product we're buying.
Got it. Okay. So we'll entertain a motion noting the actual vendor name because that's in conflict with what's on the agenda.
I think you had a first and a second.
I had a motion by, was it Hutchison? Who was the second? Galvin? Okay. Any discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. All right, item 3. For consideration of possible action on the purchase of a live scan fingerprint mugshot machine for Green Bay Police Department for $26,631.
But I'm sure you know about it.
Yeah.
It just-
Yes.
it's-
So I will turn it over to staff.
Okay. So it's a live scan machine. It's used for fingerprinting. Oh, sorry, Bailey Andre.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. It is used for fingerprinting for criminal arrest. We use it for ordinance violations, sometimes for identification purposes, and then also for employees itself. So the machine actually, we make the record in it, it transmits through, and we transmit it to a couple different locations for our department.
Kind of a necessary piece of equipment,
Yes.
okay? I don't know, any questions? Just maybe add a contingency that we'd approve this as long as Brunette goes in and gets fingerprinted.
I'm sure I've been fingerprinted. Not for any illicit reasons.
No, all teasing aside. We entertain a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion by Brunette, a second by Galvin. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 5, for consideration with possible action on report out of the vehicles purchased in 2022. Item 4, sorry. For consideration with possible action on the purchase of scanning services with MEI Mail Services, Inc. for $39,813. This was scanning, right, of fourth floor, is it? And this came in almost half the price. What was thought?
Correct. I do see our procurement manager is online if he wants to speak to this item. I believe there are some additional costs that are going to be needed for boxing up, like buying materials to box up the files. But yes, the quote is less than what was approved from the ARPA dollars.
Okay. So the purchasing manager's online?
Tom, is there anything you wanted to speak about this item?
Sure, I'm here. Did you have some questions on it?
Yeah, what would be those additional costs that Director Ellenbecker mentioned?
Well, originally, they had taken a bunch of staples and stuff out of the information, so there was a discovery quote that was done early, but after we had taken the staples out, that reduced the overall estimated cost. So then when we went ahead and bid it out, we didn't have to have that part in the scope of work. So we took that out. So our original budget estimate was around $65,000. But with doing that extra work and taking those staples out of there, that's part of the reason why the bids came in a little bit lower.
Okay, so this $39,813 is the number that we're looking at then?
Yes, it is. That's complete. That's 625,000 documents. They will come in and pick them up. They will take them to their site, scan them all. There's a whole process of verification. Then they will do disposal after we give them the okay.
Okay. Any questions?
Motion approved. Second.
We got a motion by Galvin, a second by Hutchison. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 5, for consideration of possible action, a report out of the vehicles purchased in 2022. Off the state contract, police purchase 12 vehicles using 2022 bonding and 1 parks vehicle using 2021 bonding. This is just a report out, so receive and place on file. Any questions? Okay.
Is there an have we received these vehicles yet?
No,
Okay, is there a projected date?
no, we're having a lot of back and forth.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah. All right, microphone here. We are having a lot of back and forth with the vendor
Okay.
on these, and so we really don't know. And what we may end up doing is getting twice as many vehicles in 2023, but it just supply chain issues for vehicles right now are really causing a lot of problems for us.
Okay. So you're on it, it's just,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, you can start ordering them in August, and this past August, we were first in line, ready to go with our order, and that's really all we can do.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve, or move to file.
Receive and place on file.
Second.
We have a motion by Hutchison to receive and place on file, second by Brunette. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 6 for consideration with possible action, the resolution authorizing budget amendment for fire overtime reimbursement for $2,556.69 for unbudgeted community events. Feels like the same song and dance as the last couple meetings.
These are going to be reoccurring.
Yep. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Galvin, second by Brunette. Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 7 for consideration with possible action, the resolution authorizing a budget amendment for fire overtime reimbursement for $2,145,000 for unbudgeted state reimbursement training.
Motion approved.
Second.
We have a motion by Galvin, second by Brunette. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 8 for consideration with possible action, the resolution authorizing a budget amendment for police overtime reimbursement for $32,650.53 for unbudgeted community events.
Motion approved. Second.
We have a motion by Galvin, a second by Hutchison. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 9 for consideration of possible action, the resolution authorizing a budget amendment for police overtime reimbursement for $1,281.88 for unbudgeted costs offset by invoices.
Motion approved.
Second.
Motion by Galvin, second by Brunette. Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 10, a request by Alder Jennifer Grant to the Finance Committee, which states, for discussion with possible action to create a new resolution or amend the current resolution to reallocate all available ARPA funds within the existing categories and any new possible categories. I did talk with Alder Grant just before this meeting started. She said she had a schedule conflict, but asked that I kind of summarize what she's looking to do here. She said that as, you know, the pools start narrowing, meaning that there's less funding available because we're allocating some, that she thought it might be better to perhaps kind of combine this into just one category, so that way the best projects can come forward and then be approved. I mentioned to her, obviously, that the lost revenue bucket is very different than all the other ones, so that at a minimum, I think you ought to entertain 2 buckets, notwithstanding, right, any discussion that might occur on reversing where we're at. Director Ellenbecker, I know you've sent a list in the past, but could you send an updated list to council prior to our December 6th meeting with the budget allocations that were made, so that way we can, I'm assuming you don't have that data on the spot here, right? Like what's available in each of the categories?
I know I have it by total, so.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I think that was one thing that Alder Grant had requested, if we could get a spreadsheet that shows how much is available in each category. So I didn't get the sense that she necessarily was looking for finance to take any particular action, but she wanted me to share with you what she's thinking. And then obviously December 6th, she'll probably pull it and the council discuss it. So any thoughts, discussion points?
Knowing the specifics, it's hard to.
Timing-wise, it's my understanding the next Finance Committee meeting, staff is intending to come back with all of the ARPA requests that we had kicked back to staff to vet, and so that intent is to come back at the next Finance Committee with those and some additional new ones. I don't know, Director Ellenbecker, if you've got, that was from Chief of Staff Rivera Wagner. He had mentioned that to me, so.
Yep, and then I thought there was some discussion on bringing them back in January, so I can
Okay,
do
and-
whatever the wishes are.
Yeah, and maybe that's, I know he was talking about bringing him to this meeting, and I said that was too soon. I said,
Okay,
can we?
maybe it was the second one.
And
in
I asked if
December.
we could wait till the December meeting, so. So maybe they are looking at January, I don't know. But just give everybody a sense of timing.
Okay.
I think Alder Grant's idea is a good one. The challenge will be that if we're going to move forward with that idea, it would have to be an amended resolution. Right.
Yeah, that'd be my understanding. You'd have to, the one thing that I want us to have an honest conversation around, if department heads are kind of counting on that allocation, I look at public, the crime and safety bucket as an example, because I'm looking at Chief Davis right now, if he's kind of counting on that money and has proposals that he's expecting to put before us to consider, that could complicate that process a little bit. And that Chief Davis is one example. Every bucket would have that issue. other discussion? And otherwise, I would just maybe recommend that we just forward this to the council without a recommendation.
It's probably a good idea.
Is there a motion? Motion by Brunette,
Second.
second by Galvin. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item F, report of the Ad hoc Facilities Committee of November 15th, 2022. Item 1, to direct finance staff to work with BSA, that's Bernard Schober Associates, on the total cost of the deficient critical needs listed in the report in response to the review of the facilities assessment updates for City Hall, Municipal Court, Police Station, and Fire Station Number 1. To proceed with BSA for a flow review not to exceed $30,000 and direct staff to find funding or bring it back to the Finance Committee. Obviously, I can give an overview on this, but I would maybe defer to staff. If someone from staff wants to speak to this, Director Grenier, is that why you're here? No. Oh, you're waiting for the next committee?
Yes.
Okay. So, for those not familiar, I do chair the Ad hoc Facilities Committee, and so this committee is comprised with some appointments from the public as well as impacted staff members, department heads that have a role in this. I believe Director Grenier's department ordered up the studies. We got that report back, which is what is in the council packet. Initially, we thought Station Number 3 was included, and it was not. The mayor and I talked about that a little bit. We talked about the merits of having Station 3 be part of it. Do we do it or not? And what I had suggested to the mayor at this point, I think replacement of Station 3 is a foregone conclusion, so maybe ordering up that study would perhaps just be a waste of time and resources, particularly since we've already allocated the ARPA funding to proceed with site selection. So the committee kind of just sat on that and sort of agreed not to expand that. So really what we're looking at then is the condition reports for City Hall, Community Court, Police Station, Fire Station 1. Before we were ready, I think, to make any substantial recommendations around what to do with facilities, we thought it was really important to understand what the space needs are and what they anticipate to be into the future, right? You don't want to make $1 million decisions multi-million-dollar decisions when you don't know what our needs really are from a space perspective. So we talked about a lot of different options. I believe the committee meeting was recorded and is available for review, but the ultimate recommendation that came out of the committee was to proceed with this flow review, or that's just how are we using the space and where its needs going to be. So Director Ellenbecker, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought that there was still some money left in that previous bonding cycle that was going to cover this.
To pay for the latest BSA reports, we had about $35,000 available. I think about 27 was spent, so that leaves us between 7,000 or 8,000 left. And then there was an estimate that it would cost about 30,000. So at that point, that is why we are looking to have staff to go find additional funding. To date, I haven't come back with a better option at this point. It probably would be contingency, but I kind of was also going to wait to see if that was the path or the direction from the Finance Committee.
Contingency makes the most sense to me, given that we're in December and we still have some funding there. But I would like to maybe just open it up to any additional questions or conversation around how the committee got to this recommendation. I want alders to be confident in the process that we're taking to evaluate all these facilities. As you know, there's been discussion around, do we build a brand new fire station or a police station? Do we remodel it? What do we do with City Hall that has $10 million of required repairs? What do we do with stations 1 and 3? And this process, looking at you mostly, Alder Hutchison, because you're newer, and this was started when you weren't on council, but this process was recommended to kind of have some additional input and oversight over that facility process. So, you feel okay with that next step?
Can I have one note?
Yep.
There are 2 pages, spreadsheets attached to your packet, and what we did is we really recapped what was in the BSA assessments, what was deficient and critical. But then there are a few items that were changed or recommendations that were given really by our civil engineer of special projects, and things that she also recommended that should also be done in the next year or 2 for other reasons, because they're leaking or is it for some other reasons. So what is in front of you is what BSA said, but then there's also some recommendations from our engineering department. So those spreadsheets are a little bit tweaked from what BSA had recommended. So those are things, if we were to be looking, if the math is to move forward, what are really critical and deficient needs right now, these potentially would be your 2023 borrowing requests.
And that, one of those is related to the roof, right?
Correct,
Which was in the capital improvement plan, but not necessarily approved yet.
correct. For City Hall, they have some money set aside for this, for the roof, but not enough dollars.
Okay, am I looking at when we open the attachments, which item are we talking about here? Oh, I've got it.
BSA-engineering?
Yep.
Yep, engineering made their recommendations on, to go along with what BSA has recommended.
Right. Okay, and so these are things I presume that would come to us during the bonding process?
Yes.
Okay. So really, we don't need action on those right now?
No, I
It's
just
kind of an
did want to
FYI.
explain that, our engineering department did go through and made some of their own recommendations. And they kind of noted some of the reasons below why they made changes or additions to BSA's report.
Okay. So I'll throw a motion out there, I guess, just to get the process rolling. I would move that we authorize the $30,000 flow review, first using available funds from that previous bond cycle, and then the balance being paid through contingency. Okay, so that is a motion by Johnson, a second by Galvin. Is there any further discussion on that item? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item G, informational. 2022 contingency account is $184,297. Unobligated is $57,297. Director Ditch, any update on where we're at with the storm damage claims?
I believe there's only one thing left that we have to get under contract by the end of the year, and that's one piece of playground equipment. I know that they recently quoted it out. I'm not sure yet if they issued the PO for that. But it's going to be less than the $100,000 when it's all said and done.
Do you know when, we have our next finance committee meeting mid-December. Do you think you would know by then?
I can have a figure.
Yeah, it would be good to know.
Sure.
That way, I don't know if there's any year-end, unanticipated expenditures that might be coming, but if there are, it would be good to just know what's unobligated. Okay. The next Finance Committee meeting will be held on Tuesday, December 13th, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Second.
We have a motion by Galvin, second by Hutchison. Any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.